love myself too much. Hey, my name is Lajoie, and welcome to my channel all about travel, wellness, and transformation. Today, as you can see, we are at the beach. Is it the best beach I've been to? No, but it's a beach. I wanted to get out of nature, so here we are. Here I am. Welcome. This week, I wanted to talk about devotion to self. A lot of us have these 2023 goals and 2022 goals, my mistake. And you know what I found, especially in my experience, working with goals, doing these little like affirmations and like transformational goals, is that, you know, what always happens, or what has always happened in the past, is that the first 3 months it'll be good to go. I'll go to the gym like, you know, 3 days a week, 4 days a week. I'll eat right. And then something happens around March, which is like around my birthday, so maybe that's part of it. But something happens around March where I start to just kind of, you know, something happens. I get overwhelmed with work, or, you know, I just forget to meditate one day. And this always happens. And sometimes I allow myself to allow that self-sabotage that happens to give me an excuse to quit. And I know in the last week's video we talked about quitting and like how to not quit and all of that, but this week I really wanted to talk about how to really devote to yourself. Okay, what does devotion to self mean? That's probably what a lot of y'all are asking, because I think some of y'all, probably most of y'all actually, have not heard this word before. So devotion to self, you know, when we first hear the words devotion, at least for me, I feel like we think about devoting to a relationship. You know, when you get married, you devote yourself to your spouse. When you go to work and you want to get a raise, you devote yourself to work. But a lot of people don't talk about devoting to yourself. And what often happens when we do devote to things outside of ourselves, we can get the goals that we achieve, right? But sometimes we lose other aspects that really make our lives fulfilling. Let me give you an example. So in the past, I've over devoted to work, right? So much so that, yeah, I got that raise. Friends, I lost time with my family. I kind of lost sight of what it really meant to actually live, right? This was just my experience. I don't know if it's y'all's. Comment below if it is y'all's, and let me know about your experience too. I'd love to do like a Q&A session about this stuff at some point. But I devoted myself to work. And because I devoted myself to something outside of myself, there are other aspects of my life that really hurt, and that really, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, felt the pain of the time and effort that I put into something that didn't really serve all aspects of myself. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Please let me know if it doesn't make sense. Comment below and I'll explain it even more. So when it comes to devoting to yourself, you really need to start to think about, okay, so when we devote to work, for example, when I devoted to work, what were some of the things that I did that made me devote to work? It would be sacrificing time that I usually spent with my friends, or I usually spent with my family. I prioritized my work. That was me being devoted to my work. I would prioritize my work over other aspects of my life. And when we talk about devoting to ourselves, you're basically doing that before yourself, okay? Which at the end, it's a win-win-win all around. I'll explain that more later in this video. But when you devote to yourself, you are now prioritizing you over everything else in your life. I'm not saying you have to do this for the rest of your life, and you don't, but you do have to take at least, 6 months to a year of devoting to you. And so when I talk about devoting to self, I mean that, if your goal for 2024 is to lose weight, right? Then that means that, yeah, you're going to have to spend the extra hour or 2 hours, depending on where you at in your journey. Because, like, look, we all somewhere, okay? We are all somewhere on the exercise journey, myself included. But you're really going to have to start devoting yourself to that goal, right? To yourself. That means that instead of watching that extra hour of TV after work, you're going to be at the gym. instead of eating that late night snack, maybe due to stress, you're gonna have to probably not eat. Actually, that's really the highest like recommendation. You could switch a snack for like something healthier, but at the end of the day, it's not that great for your body to eat food late at night. And y'all can do more research on that. But you're gonna have to start prioritizing yourself, right? And it's definitely easier said than done, right? Especially for those of us who are like the emotional eaters, which, look, I'm still processing right now. I'm like, ooh, girl, emotional eating, that is like, they really, I don't know, they really mess with us on that one. Because I feel like it's something that we're taught as kids, you know? A lot of parents, especially from my generation, they pacify us with ice cream and cookies because that's what they're taught. That's what we were taught through TV also. So, it's really nobody's fault, to be honest. But that's stuff we have to work through, right? And so when it comes to prioritizing or devoting to myself, if I was somebody who wanted to stop emotionally eating, that would mean that, okay, I would have to start processing those emotions, because if you're not going to process those emotions, honey, it's going to be very difficult to stop emotionally eating. Okay, you have to process those emotions, and then you have to prioritize the process of those emotions. So when those emotions come up, you have to work through them. You have to find other alternatives, and this sometimes takes 30 minutes to an hour, maybe 15 minutes, when you get better at it, or depending on the tools that you have. But this is part of the process. It's part of devoting to yourself, okay? And that's something that we all really have to understand and start committing to. But there's something magical that happens when you start to devote to yourself. And this is probably my favorite part of it. So, we're taught in society to kind of go outward. Well, find satisfaction by going outward, right? Devoting ourselves to our jobs, to our families, to our relationships, or other aspects of our life are also not happy when we're not happy, right? I mean, a good example of this is like the overworking parent, right? They overwork, they devote themselves to work, and then other aspects of their lives are compromised because of that. So they don't have as much time with their family, or they find themselves unhappy, maybe because they don't spend as much time with their family. So that's a really good example of that. But I found that when you devote to yourself, it's actually a really beautiful process, because once you start devoting to yourself, it's kind of like the opposite happens. You start to but other aspects of your life start to kind of elevate with you, right? So when you start devoting to yourself and finding like inner peace and really committing to your goals, everything else just kind of falls into alignment. It's like you kind of spiral yourself upward, and then your family is coming upward too. Your work is coming upward too. Like everything goes up with you, right? I mean, this is what people call like a glow up, but really it's like, it's a glow up. It's a glow up. And so it's so important to really devote to yourself. It's so important, and it will benefit everybody in your family. We're not gonna put this line in there. Okay. So how can you start now? How can you start to devote to yourself now? Well, I'm gonna show you one really easy trick that I learned that really helps me prioritize myself in any situation. And it's one simple question. And I like this tool because it's one simple question. It's a yes or no answer. And it doesn't take like a 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes of journaling or processing, or like, let me just take a breath. Or like, let me go to the bathroom real quick and then I'll come back with a decision. You don't even have to do that. You just have to ask yourself this one simple question. And that is, what is going to serve me more? That's it. It's such a magical question. And this is great, especially if you've already established your goals. Now, if you haven't established your goals first before starting to use this process, this tool, But really asking yourself, what is going to serve me more? It is amazing, okay? And this helps in any situation. So for me, a couple months ago, one of my goals was to finish my podcast series and to really commit to my podcast series. And, I was in Brazil with a bunch of other people. And, every day they would go to a different beach or go somewhere else. And I had to ask myself, what's going to serve me more? Going to the beach with them, which, it'll serve me in some way. Or going to the beach by myself, doing my podcast and really focusing on myself in a reflection. And of course, for me, it was like, what's going to serve me more is going inward, working on my podcast, because that's one of my goals. And it worked. And it was crazy because, like, even though I didn't hang out with my friends as often, we were still cool. We were still really good friends, like they still invited me to the parties. It's really amazing because I feel like me in the past, I really was awful at prioritizing other people over myself. Like it was crazy. And it never really served me. There's often a lot of times where I would go out with people, I would, prioritize other people's needs or interests over my own. And I would find myself so unhappy. And it's crazy too, because I'm not one of those people who really expresses that to other people. But there is like many times where I'll be crying in my room, like, what is going on? Why am I so depressed? Why am I so unhappy? And that was a really big part of it. So really asking yourself that question, what is going to serve me more? That's really going to help you in 2024 achieve all of your goals, because it'll help you kind of get back on track. And that's one of the hardest things to do too, is that oftentimes when we do set goals, it's like sailing a boat, right? You gotta have to check the navigation every once in a while in order to stay on course, okay? Because if you don't, you might be going in a completely different direction, and then it's like 2 days later, you're not even close to the island you're trying to get to, right? So it's the same thing with our goals, right? We need to really have these compasses to help us get back on track before we veer off, like way to the side, okay? A really good example of this, let's go back to the workout example, is like, I set my goal to work out or lose weight, whatever the goal was. And honestly, if you are one of those people who wants to lose weight, I wouldn't even start with losing weight as your goal. I would start with working out as your goal, especially if you haven't worked out in the past. Make that your goal. Do not make the goal to lose weight. That's my personal opinion. Because in my opinion, it didn't help me in the past. But when I started to say, no, I want to exercise regularly, that's really what changed my lifestyle. That's really what made me commit to working out a lot more often and a lot more consistently, rather than saying, oh, I want to lose this much weight. That's my personal opinion. Okay, let's get back to it. So when you want to lose weight, let's say, you've been working out 3 days a week for the first 3 months, okay? And it's March, and you forget to work out for a whole week because you're just too busy with work. So this is you kind of going a little bit off course. And then it's like the end of the week, you're like, you know what? I have another week, I have too much work to do. Again, let me just keep on going off the course. That's when you have to pause and really ask yourself, what's going to serve me more? Not working out, or working out. And it's raining now, so I'm going to head back to my car. But, or not working out, right? And that's when you have to use that compass to get back on course, okay? Another tool that I gave y'all in this video is my song, I Love Myself So Much. I love that song. Again, you download it into the description below. I'm not into it, but you can get the song in the description. And that really helps me just kind of wake up in that mood of self-love, And that was something that I really had to work on, is self-love, my self-talk. I really had to work on a lot when it came to devoting to myself and my self-transformation. So that's also a really good tool for y'all to use. Again, it's in the description. But really waking up with that energy, waking up with that main character energy, telling yourself, like, this is about... I ain't trying to trip out here. Okay, really waking up with that main character energy is really important. And really understanding that those mornings and the nights before you go to bed are super important. Oh, somebody going way too fast. So really waking up with that energy, waking up with those songs, and really prioritizing yourself as soon as you get up. And this is going to be really important, especially for parents, because I know it's really hard to do that when you have other people you have to take care of, other little human beings to take care of, okay? And I know they're too cute to ignore. I know. But it's really important if you can just take the first 5 minutes of your day, of your morning, to really focus on you, whether it's through meditation, listening to my music, or working through your affirmations. It's super, super important. Okay, y'all? I'm trying to go on the other side because all these cars. But so y'all have those tools for y'all to start committing to your 2024 goals, okay? And then on top of that, I'm also doing my free AirPod giveaway. And this time I'm giving away 2 AirPods, y'all. 2 AirPods, okay? For free. So make sure to look at that video. The link is in the description below for that video of the free AirPod giveaway. For the details on that. And what else? I'm trying to think, what else can I give y'all today? All right, the wellness. So I have my committing to my wellness course that is also completely for free. It will always be for free. That is in the description below, okay? And if y'all want to get onto the email list to get even more tools that help y'all devote to 2024, to your 2024 goals, that's also in the link in the description below, okay, y'all? I love y'all so much. Let's take one more little. Okay, look at the nature, y'all. Look at the nature. It's beautiful. I love doing these live streams outside in nature. It's amazing. So anyway, I love y'all so much. Please comment below if y'all need any help with anything. Email me, okay? Comment below. I really want to know, what are your 2024 goals? And like, actually, not even that.